This is RML695 here with KB7QLT.
Hello.
He is an avid iPhone user. You've been using an iPhone for how long?
That's right. I love my iPhone.
How long have you been using it?
I've been using it ever since about December 13th or so.
So about a month, a little over a month. We're going to address some of the comments that you guys have left on my previous video, a new Notetaker, the iPad. And I do want to make one comment. The National Federation of the Blind actually commended Apple for including VoiceOver on the iPad since it's a first-generation device, and it actually has screen reading aboard out of the box. Now, you need to understand that my personal push is for turnkey accessibility, that you can just pick something up and it talks. Very few devices do that for us that are mainstream, and I think there needs to be push for that to become mandatory. Anyway, well, real quick, Matt, what do you think?
I think that accessibility right out of the box is a very good idea because not only is it less expensive for those who need it, but it also provides an opportunity for everyone to try it, use it. There are a lot of people who may go blind or visually impaired, lose their vision later in life, and rather than having them go out and search for solutions like the iPhone or a Mac or an iPad or whatever, or an iPod, the speech and the accessibility, the screen magnification will already be there.
So Apple is definitely... Sorry to interrupt. Apple is definitely setting a benchmark here. The NFB has even said that. I believe Dr. Maurer said that himself. Let's get to the comments, though. And again, I do apologize for interrupting you, KB7QLT, but we are pressed for time. So one of the comments was from Video Guy NC. He says, "It's an oversized iPod, I'm afraid. You can get a good netbook for $250 that can multitask. And netbooks have a real keyboard. I actually bought an iPhone, and the virtual keyboard sucks. For the visually impaired, for the visually impaired, and they charge extra for a real keyboard on the iPad. By the way, I returned my iPhone. I canceled my contract. Plus, they try to lock their devices down to proprietary markets. You can get around it, but it's a pain. Apple believes in charging for everything. Netbook for me." What's your take?
My thinking is, I think it's just an attitude adjustment. You know, this person says that a netbook is cheaper. Well, it may be cheaper, so for the sighted user, that may be, have some weight. But for the blind or visually impaired user, paying, $200 a year to keep a screen reader up to date, not fun. Plus the $900 price tag to get JAWS or Window Eyes.
Yeah. And then he says, "Have you tried enabling VoiceOver on the iPhone for the first time? You have to navigate to Settings, General, Accessibility, then turn VoiceOver or Zoom on. After that, it's okay, but it's nearly impossible for a blind or low vision user to enable accessibility on the iPhone out of the box without sighted assistance. Not to mention the VoiceOver software that tends to break up and drop out in and out in the iPhone. Glad Walmart and AT&T have a decent return policy." And I said that to enable VoiceOver on the iPhone, since you must go through iTunes anyway, there's a checkbox during setup. Check that box and VoiceOver will be enabled from the get-go. What is your take on his comment about VoiceOver breaking up?
Well, my thing is that, there does need to be a little bit of improvement in the VoiceOver startup.
Okay.
Not everybody's looking for a Command F5 solution.
Yeah.
And with the iPhone, it might just not happen. Although it can be programmed. I wish they would make it the default. You can go into your phone options and have your home key pressed 3 times quickly be the thing that turns VoiceOver on and off. Yeah, they should enable that by default.
I think time's kind of getting short, so I'm going to try to push this a little bit further. So everybody starting from Jetfly downward, I apologize for not reading your comment in full. I'm just going to summarize. Essentially, Jetfly here has a packmate, and he prefers it. You could just use a 32 gig compact flash or a 1 terabyte external hard drive, 30-hour battery. because he really prefers his Braille. And I basically said that and this is what I want you to comment on. There's a command in VoiceOver to disable speech while keeping VoiceOver active, just like on your iPod Touch. This tells me Braille could very well happen. We will see when it comes out in March. Any comment on that one?
Oh, I think it's a good comment. I don't really have too much to say. We can continue to the next one.
I think that's about it as far as... Yeah, that's about it. That is it. In that case, anybody who's curious, who has a hard time reading the screen, Jetfly15 said that I still like my Packmate because I need Braille. If I don't have Braille, I'm screwed. Essentially, basically, I like the feel of Braille. As far as battery, 32 gig compact flash card, 1 terabyte external hard drive, 30-hour battery. My concern is trying to bring it to the mainstream, though. Like we said at the beginning, my personal push is, people with disabilities are trying to be as mainstream as possible.
Yes.
And I think that Apple's definitely setting an example here of what that is. Maybe the iPad is not the best, but it's the principle here. They're going ahead and giving us accessibility out of the box, and that, I think, is very, very welcome.
Accessibility out of the box is important, just like we said before in the example.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. KB7QLT, thank you for making an appearance.
Yep.
And comments and questions are welcome. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.